One of the greatest challenges faced by the children of Africa today, whether they were born on the continent or not, is a disconnection from their roots. Just like any plant cut off from its roots will wither, so too do we when severed from our cultural foundation, or history, or traditions, or identity. These are the nutrients that sustain us. Without them, we lose our sense of belonging. Reconnecting with these roots is not just a choice. It's essential for growth and survival in an ever-changing world. So how do we begin? It starts with an understanding of where we come from. I'm eating Ghanaian today. You are invited. It's groundnut soup with banku and meat and fish. Very good. Delicious. You want some? For many people of color, it's been a very long journey. The journey of recovery, rediscovery after more than 400 years of oppression, slavery, and even to this day in many countries, it is still happening in various forms. In today's video, I want to share a thought that I have, having gone to the motherland, Africa, the continent of Africa, and observed some things as someone who was born in the Caribbean in Jamaica, who live in North America, who have experience with people from different cultures, different races, and so on. I've learned some things over time. And in this video, I'm going to share my thoughts, some deep thoughts. This is going to be a call to Africa, a call to the motherland to regain your own children. But hey, let's start with the beginning. In this video, I'm going to address what I consider to be the main root of the cause of the problem that still exists with our people of color. The root. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm Angie Marie, and I love discussing issues of culture and the things that keep us happy, the things that motivate us. Thank you for visiting my channel. If this is your first time, I'm so happy to have you. And if you are a return subscriber, I thank you so much for visiting this channel again. I'm going to invite you and ask you to share your thoughts, share your comments freely, like this video, subscribe to this channel if you have not yet done so, and hit that notification bell so that you'll be alerted when we post new content. So we're going to look at some root issues, some root causes in terms of what is going on, why it is happening, and what I think is there a solution to all of this. So I want to invite you to stick with me through this video. If you are someone from the continent of Africa, you need to stay with me because I have some challenges for you. If you are from the Caribbean or from any other country across the world where you have some African origin, I want to encourage you to stay with me. And if in your opinion you don't have any African origin, I'm still going to invite you to stay with me because you may be surprised to find out some similarities or some things you'll understand that really and truly we are one human race. I will also be doing a series where I'm going to talk about the power of the African influence. So watch out for these videos as well. Alright, so let's get to the root of the matter. What I see as the main cause of the problems that affect people of color today, and can we do anything about it in our generation, in our lifetime? What do I think? I want to hear what you think also. Have you ever observed a plant or a flower or a tree that's disconnected from its root? What happens when there's that disconnection from the root? Well, the flower starts to fade. It struggles, and there's sometimes when you may remove a plant from the root and replant it somewhere else and eventually it thrives. But there's something about the root and the soil that does something to us who are the branches and the flowers. I was sent to Africa by my job. My first contact with Africa was South Africa, very beautiful place. And I was blessed and fortunate to have been sent there by my job. I represented Jamaica at a conference and it was an amazing experience. Here's the thing I discovered. As I sat there or I stood and observed the people, I saw certain actions and mannerisms and the way they communicated that I said, wow, that person looks just like my cousin, my brother, my uncle, my family member. The only difference is when you got closer and you heard them speak, it was a different language, different accent, but we came from the same root. I'm going to share some things from my heart with you today. Everyone I know, including myself, who got off a plane And listen, we did not go to Africa on a boat or a ship. We flew to Africa, thank goodness, for the modern times. Everyone I know who flew to the continent of Africa, Black person, and I don't know, maybe it's the experience of people of other nations, other races as well. But in my experience and the people I know who are also people of color, there's something that happens when our feet touch that soil, touch the ground in Africa. It happened to me in South Africa, and it happened to me in Ghana. I've been to South Africa once, but I've been to Ghana 26 or 27 times. And the last trip there in Ghana, I spent a year. So something happens to us when our feet hit that soil. And if you're watching me today and you're a person of color, I want to encourage you to think about in your lifetime. It might not be possible at the moment because it does cost. It's an investment to travel to Africa because, you know, we're of the distance. It's a few hours of flying and you have to know what you're doing. You have to pay for your flight, accommodation, transportation, food, and so forth. So it's something that you have to plan. But there are groups that arrange trips. I believe it is good for us, if we can, to visit the continent. And for those of us who cannot, watch videos that talk about our experiences there because it will help you engage with us as a community. Don't stay at a distance. Let's connect. Let's get together. Let's understand, you know, what we have. I believe there's so much that we have. Let me share with you some of what we have, some of what you have to be proud of. Listen, why do you think so many colonizers went to the continent of Africa? Africa, the continent of Africa is rich, very rich in natural resources and very rich in human resources. The people, Black people, are amazing. I believe that these Black people are the most respectful, kind-hearted, generous people that there are. Yes, and you know, we were taken advantage of, to be honest with you, because of some of that kindness, that gullibility, that trusting nature and spirit. But I'm telling you from experience, and I believe it's a blessing. I was blessed and fortunate to have been able to connect. First time I went, it was through my job. I was sent there to represent my country. But after that, I connected with Ghana through my church in New York. I met someone who invited me to church, and that church, the pastor is Ghanaian, and there are a lot of Ghanaians in the church, and people from the West Indies, from the Caribbean, Jamaica, and so forth as well. And thank goodness I was invited. Someone from the church said, you know, I have 3 daughters in Ghana. If at any point you want to visit, you're welcome to go stay at our house, stay with my daughters. I took up that first offer. And since then, it has not been the same. But I found the hospitality to be so amazing. And I'm going to share something personal with you. Every time I think about this and want to share it, tears literally come to my eyes. Because there are a few times when I've been at my lowest, when I've been literally in a valley of despair. People think that when I went to spend a year in Ghana, that it's because there was so much money flowing. No, I went to Ghana during a season when the money was not flowing, and I felt I didn't have much choice because it would have been too expensive to go to my own country, Jamaica, and too expensive to be in the US. So I said, I took a decision that I've been going there. I know I would be safe as a woman. I know I can afford to be there for a year, and that's what I'm going to do while I sort myself out financially and otherwise. Yes. And thankfully, I opened my heart to people there. We became like family. And I'm telling you this, during a few moments when I was in my deepest moment of despair, there were good Samaritans right there in Ghana who helped me with those wounds, emotional wounds, opened up their home and so forth. It's a story. Eventually, I'll share more. But I'm telling you, it is good to have a real connection, a family connection with your roots. And that is one of the things that I think I've been able to achieve as a Jamaican, connecting with Africa, connecting with Ghana, having a real deep connection. You've probably seen me wearing different cloth. Many of those cloth were given to me as gifts. These people made me feel like a queen. They would literally help me to fix that head thing on my head, get the clothes right, and take the pictures. And just, I'm telling you, it's a place that knows how to honor you. When you're loved, you're really loved. And I believe there's no reason for anyone to feel ashamed about your heritage. That African heritage is powerful. It is the greatest privilege that you could have, to be African, to have the nature of an African. Why? The resources, you have wealth there in terms of the natural resources, and the people, you have wealth in terms of the people, their principles, their values. Get to know someone, get to know people from Africa. Now, I'm not saying that everyone in Africa are great and, well, you know, they're not people who are not genuine or fake. So you have to use wisdom in the same way you would use wisdom in dealing with any sort of association and relationships. We need to ask God for wisdom so that we can know who are the people we should connect with and who we should be careful with. But I think God has just been good to me, but I've also been able to connect with the right networks. It's just like if you have a Wi-Fi. Have you ever been in a situation where you had a poor Wi-Fi connection? Ever tried working with a weak Wi-Fi connection? Frustrating, right? You've got the tools, the potential, but nothing works until the connection is strong. The same goes for life. Your output depends on your connections, whether it's people, your mindset, or opportunities. The right connections will unlock your full potential. So listen to me. Please stop settling for weak signals. Find the right network and watch how everything will start to flow for you. When the Wi-Fi connection is strong, we need it. We need to connect with each other. And I'm going to throw out a challenge to Africa, not to neglect your children. Your children were taken away from the motherland years ago by force. But now you have the opportunity to open up your arms more. And I do feel when I do discuss Ghana or talk about Africa, I appreciate the comments and the engagement and the way you guys make me feel loved and special. I know there's always a warm welcome from you. As a Jamaican, I feel loved. As I've always said, when we go to Africa, when we go to Ghana as Jamaicans, even South Africa as well, we feel welcome, and we want to thank you for that. But I want to encourage you to open your arms to more of us. And I want it to be a two-way street where it's not just the Africans who are initiating, but also us, we from the Caribbean, to be willing to open ourselves, because that's our family, that's our blood, whether we want to accept it or not. I know there are some people who feel ashamed because of what the media has done. The media has shown children, starving children and so forth in Africa. And believe me, I've been to Ghana for years, so many times, and I've never seen this. Now, I'm not saying it does not exist, but it does not exist in the way it is being portrayed. Africans are people who take care of each other and they take care of their families. So it does not exist in the way it's being portrayed in the media. So here's the thing. If you are of African heritage, you have everything to be proud of. Whether your ancestors came from West Africa, from Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast, Senegal, the Gambia, the Congo, Burkina Faso, Ethiopia, which is not West, South Africa, Mali, Cameroon, Angola, Gabon, or whether you were taken to Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, the Bahamas, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Argentina, Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, wherever you were taken, slaves went to all of these countries. And if you are of European descent, where your ancestors saw the wisdom or the power of a nation as strong and as beautiful as Africa, because the truth is, if you were walking through a place and you saw flowers that were of no use, were withered and so on, but on the other hand, you saw beautiful, healthy, strong flowers, which one would you choose? So the fact that the Europeans went to Africa means that they saw the best there. And the truth is, they did take the best, because a country such as Haiti was the pearl of France, the pearl of the Antilles that produced and made France so rich. America's wealth, all these countries' wealth, were based on the strength that God gave you, us, as Black people, as people of African heritage. So there's no dispute about what you have and whether you're blessed, whether you're strong, whether you have everything to be proud of. And I don't care if you are born in America. Once your color is melanated, once you have melanin in your skin, your origin is African. So you better face it and be proud of that heritage. Understand the power of that heritage. Understand the power of your ancestors and what you have. Strength, principles, great values. Keep watching my channel to learn more about our heritage. There's a lot that we'll be talking about here. What's in it for us? What's in it for you, guys? Whether you are on the continent of Africa or in a different area such as the Caribbean, what's in it for you? Well, I believe all of us will benefit from the communication, from the community, from linking together, from uniting. And so, as I said in the beginning, this video is a call for unity. I want Africa to take the lead, but I want us from the Caribbean, from the other regions, to also work together, to have that mutual respect. Because we may think that we're not going to accomplish much in our current generation, but you never know. Maybe 5 generations from now, your children, your grandchildren, your great-great-great-grandchildren will thank you for that, for forging that unity, because you never know. 5 generations from now, your child may choose to go live in the Caribbean or live in Africa and will be grateful that you stood for something now. So there is something in it for all of us. Haiti at the moment is struggling. Have you sent out prayers at least for Haiti, even if you can't do much physically? How about your prayers? How about going on and making comments and forming synergies to help and to reach out and to make your voice heard? Because when one of us suffer, we all suffer. It is in our interest for all of us to do well. It is in our interest for Haiti to do well. Because another thing I'd say is once they start dominating and oppressing one of us in the Caribbean, it's going to trickle down to the others. So we need to put a stop to all of this that is happening in as much as we can. So yes, I know it is not an easy task. It's complicated. It's been going on for hundreds of years. So it's not going to be an overnight affair, an overnight fix. But it can be resolved eventually if we are determined to unite and to see it happen. Kwame, Nkrumah, and many others had this dream, and I believe it's going to come to pass one of these days. There are countries and leaders in Africa who are standing out at the moment, who are being examples. We speak of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, and what he is doing. And I pray for him every day. I pray that he will accomplish the task he's trying to accomplish, to change the face of his country, change the face of Africa. Let's unite, guys. And the last thing I'd say is that you that are of African heritage, I'm an economist by profession. You came from a place where the demand for you, your resources, for what you have has been huge. Yes, huge demand for our resources and our people in Africa. Don't be ashamed. We have a lot to be proud of. Huge demand and great supply that God has given us. Look at us. God has given us so much variety, different shades, different accents, different languages, morals, traditions, culture, different, but still one people. We are a blessed people. I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me in this video. Again, I want to invite you to watch my other videos, what I miss most about Ghana. I want to invite you to watch that and other videos that I've prepared about Jamaica, about Haiti and Ghana and different countries. South Africa as well. I want to remind you that I'm doing a series on the power of the African influence, where I'll also be looking at things such as our body language, because I believe that during slavery, the slaves were not allowed to communicate in the hearing of their oppressors. So I believe they found other ways to communicate. Now, much of that, those nonverbal or body language gestures came from the motherland. They were doing it before, but I think they
enhanced it and added more. So I want you to look out for those videos that I'm going to be doing to show you the power of the influence, including issues such as our body language and gestures, and we use our eyes, our ears, our nose, our mouth, and our hands, our fingers, our shoulders to communicate. It's very interesting, and the whole world needs to understand this. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, I invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified each time I share new content. All right, let me thank you again for spending this time with me. You have yourself a great rest of your day. This is Angie Marie, and I'll see you soon in the next video.